All right, hold on. Can we appreciate this balance? This balance for a second. Look at that. Look at that. All right. So after 2 years and easily over 1,000 hours using this camera, I think I can confidently say this is the ultimate handheld setup for me when it comes to the 6K Pro and my specific needs. Now, we're gonna go over each piece when it comes to this handheld setup and why I use it and how it allows me to stay as nimble as possible, especially at a wedding. And towards the end of this video, I will touch on some techniques I use to get the most stable footage when it comes to this setup. And I will also have a link to everything I use in the comments below, of course, to help you out as well. So let's get into the breakdown. The first piece I want to talk about is the monitor. Now, the 6K Pro obviously already has a beautiful 5-inch monitor on the camera, but I was still finding myself missing focus from time to time, wanting something more visible for low-angle shots. And being on long shoots like a wedding, looking down for hours on end, definitely puts a little strain on my neck after a while, or this is just my body telling me, welcome to your 30s. Either way. I specifically use the Small HD Action 5 monitor, and at the time of recording this video, it comes in at $330 on Amazon. I know some filmmakers had a few gripes with the monitor as far as a lack of features compared to the previous discontinued HD5 and HD7 models, but for $330, it's hard to complain about what you get. It has a pretty solid build quality, and the image coming off the screen, in my opinion, is much better compared to something like a FeelWorld monitor. Even though the Action 5 has a limited amount of tools when using the HDMI info out feature with the Blackmagic camera, it gives me all the things I would need right on the screen. Moving on to audio, I use the Rode NTG5. Now, I would be the first to say this is probably a little overkill when it comes to an on-camera mic, but it is extremely light and it makes it very easy for me to get amazing sounding scratch audio when out on a wedding, so I don't have to worry about dubbing in audio later in post. I will go ahead and just play a couple clips of how good the scratch audio sounds straight from the camera.
I don't need it in a chongo. It was gonna make me. He was like, "What am I doing?"
I'm about to breed it.
Now, because this is on a little bit more of the expensive side, I will go ahead and link some cheaper options down below though for you as well. And while we're on the topic of audio, let's talk timecode. This little guy on the side here is what we call a timecode generator made by Tentacle Sync. This allows me to sync up my audio seamlessly with the lav mic I'm talking to you on right now, and I cannot recommend their products enough. And I plan on doing a full review of the Tentacle Sync system, the app, and why I think it's honestly a must for all wedding filmmakers in a future video. Lenses. Now, I will say for the past 2 years, the tried and true Sigma 18-35 has lived on this camera. It is extremely versatile, very sharp, fast aperture when you're caught in low light scenarios, and it comes in at roughly $600. You really still just cannot beat it. But late last year, I dove in and made the investment into the Vespid Primes, and I can't tell you how much I love these lenses and the image coming out of them. I'll probably be doing a separate video on why I like them so much, but I primarily use the 21mm and the 40mm in my workflow. Attached to the lens, I use the standard Tilta Mini matte box. It's a great, straightforward system. This is a great tool to use when you can't control the light for a live event like a wedding. This is also gonna help block out unwanted flares and harsh light hitting your lens, so you can also maintain more contrast in your image. And let's just be honest, it just looks cool as well. Now, to make things easy, I'm gonna go ahead and just lump all the small rig items together. So I have the small rig cage, the audio shock mount, the small rig base plate, and also the rods. However, Small Rig just released this advanced compact V-mount system that is honestly a genius idea when combined with their new battery, because it eliminates the need for the 15mm rods and the base plate, cutting down on the weight a little bit and making everything more compact as well. In addition to this, I use a Peak Design hand strap mounted to the bottom of the Small Rig base plate to make my grip much more secure, and it honestly surprised me of how much this helps when keeping my shot stable. Now moving on to power, I use only a 50 watt-hour Nano 1 battery, which gives me about 3 hours of runtime per charge. This is also turning off the camera in between when I'm not using it. But what is nice about these batteries is they're very small compared to other 50 watt-hour batteries. And because they're so small, they're lightweight as well. I use the Nitze power plate to mount the battery as it offers 2 DTAP ports and has a DC out to also power the monitor from the same battery as well. This makes it extremely convenient to not only have to worry about using the battery to power everything, but building it out this way makes it so it's hot swappable as well. Now, however, I will say if I were to make one tweak to this, I would invest in the small rig batteries instead, as they have an integrated DC out right on the battery. What's really nice about this is it eliminates the need to use a power plate, and you can make everything more compact with the V-mount system they released as well. So, I mean, literally you just need that plate, the battery with your cables, and you're good to go. Lastly, media storage. I've been using the Silicon Power 512 gigabyte CFast card and have loved them. No problems, and eliminates the need of using a USB-C cable that would potentially come loose and cause the camera to stop recording. This CFast card as well can handle everything you throw at it as far as resolutions and frame rates, which is an added plus. Now, a big reason why I think this is the ultimate handheld setup is it has the perfect amount of weight to eliminate the micro jitters you would typically see when using a smaller camera, but it isn't too heavy where I feel like it's a chore lugging around all day. It's perfectly balanced the way it's set up, and the way I multi-purpose the battery to also be a chest mount when shooting, it allows me to get extremely stable footage in a run and gun situation. Just look at a few of these clips while walking. It low-key looks like I used a gimbal, but it was all handheld with a little bit of stabilization added in post. I'm gonna go ahead and link the video of why I'm using this camera in 2023 up on the screen if you haven't checked that out yet. This concludes the ultimate rig video, and until the next one, Murphy out.